this is Alex with Unicorn Riot. We're here in Denver, Colorado. It's a cold Thursday morning. It's Earth Day. It's the 51st anniversary of Earth Day today. There's a group here celebrating Earth Day while also highlighting the Line 3 resistance. We have covered the Line 3 resistance pretty thoroughly. It's currently happening in northern Minnesota in Anishinaabe territory. The Enbridge corporation is building a very high capacity tar sands oil pipeline through a new corridor through untouched lands. And folks here today are rallying at the Colorado State Capitol, and then they're going to be marching around downtown. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Again, we're in Denver, Colorado here. Right now, the last part of the pipeline that needs to be built, that Enbridge wants to build, is in Minnesota. So that's why the fight there is really imperative for activists and water protectors right now. If Line 3 is complete, it will carry 915,000 barrels of tar sands crude oil a day, and that is larger than the capacity that Keystone XL would have had. There's about 30 people here right now. Again, it's pretty cold. It snowed last night. You can see all the snow on the ground. I'll show some of these signs. So some of the signs say "No more stolen sisters." Fossil fuel extraction has been shown to cause the disappearance of Indigenous relatives. So when man camps are built where workers stay close to fossil fuel extraction projects, at those man camps there are a lot of trafficking and abuse can happen and does happen. There's this sign that says "No pipelines, keep it in the ground, build back fossil free, protect the water." So yeah, as you can see, it's very snowy here. I think they're going to begin. Yeah, we need it. Come on, you listeners! You can make your way this way. Make yourself come this way near the gunner. Okay, 6 feet apart if you would like to be in space. But I know a lot of us know each other. Beautiful. Thank you all for being here this morning. I'm going to pass it over to our MC, Big Win. But again, I just want to thank you all for being here this morning, this beautiful morning. this beautiful Uchimaka Mother Day, or Earth Day, Mother Day. And I don't know if some of you were up early this morning, but it was really, really foggy. There was leaving a little bit of snow coming down still. And I just knew that that still wasn't going to stop us from coming out. And now if we look up, we could see our beautiful sun that is rising and going to warm us up. I could already feel the warmth. And then just to see the beautiful shine that it has on the trees, you know, the way it glistens, and just to like take some time in and listen to way like the sound is the way the snow is falling and falling onto the ground, and just like really take in how beautiful the land that we are on right now. So I just want to take that time just real quick, and I'm going to pass it over to Big Wind. Thank you all.
Sure. What are you doing? The land is under attack!
Stand up, fight back!
What are you doing? Our lives are under attack!
Stand up, fight back!
What are you doing? The people are under attack!
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
We stand!
We stand!
For water!
For water!
With our brothers!
Our brothers!
And our sisters!
And our sisters!
And our non-binary cousins!
And our non-binary cousins!
We stand!
We stand!
We stand!
We stand!
Hikajin and Nahabethin, it's good to see you all here in this moment. My name is Big Wind, and I'll introduce myself in Hinana Eighth, our sacred language. Haseisi Nijia na asit na Hinana Einina Hate Nichihehe. I come from the band of Arapaho that lives on the Wind River Reservation in Wyoming. And these are my treaty territories. I'm a Northern Arapaho tribal member. Also have Dakota and Ojibwe ancestry. My Arapaho name is Wind River. My colonized name is Micah, and most people call me Big Wind. And I'm here because it is Earth Day, and there is a over 300 miles stretch of pipeline being built in northern Minnesota currently, right now. Yeah, boo. So I want to start this off in a good way, and I'm going to offer a prayer in Hinana Eighth, our sacred language, and then translate what it says.
They're doing a prayer right now, so I'm just walking away. But yeah, Big Wind is the MC, and they were just explaining how the pipeline being built in northern Minnesota, Line 3 pipeline, is more than 300 miles. And they were just starting off doing some chants with everyone. And for folks who don't know why filming prayers and ceremony is bad, it's out of respect, and I'm not going to go into detail because I'm not indigenous to this land, but it's something you shouldn't do. So.
Buenos dias, good morning. We live on the land of the Ute, Arapaho, Cheyenne, Lakota, Kiowa, Comanche, Hickory, Apache, Navajo, and 48 tribes that still travel through here, including the Mexica. I ask you to remember that's all be good ancestors in your actions. That means in your intentions. So in every way that you hold yourself, I thank you for being here, especially when it is cold. The other day, they had the nerve to put a 2-ton ice structure right there. How tone deaf. To the waste of water, and to literally understanding what we need to have today. So I ask that you be mindful in your actions when people are not in theirs. And thank you. Omato.
What's up?
For folks just tuning in, again, we're in Denver, Colorado.
So there is some pretty banners and flags. We'd appreciate if you grab a couple right now and use them. And we're going to talk about what is Line 3 really quick, just to get everyone on the same page. Line 3 is a tar sands pipeline that is being built from Hart City, Alberta, Canada, and it cuts through North Dakota, goes into Minnesota, and then comes out in Superior, Wisconsin in the Husky refinery, where the crude tar sands oil is, the bitumen sludge is processed at the Husky refinery plant and then shoved through the Line 5 pipeline that starts in Superior, Wisconsin, goes through the northern Michigan and the Upper Peninsula, and it comes out in Ontario. All of this tar sands bitumen sludge is the worst and the dirtiest fossil fuel that we have on this planet. To put this into perspective, you need over 20 gallons to push 1 gallon of that sludge through the pipeline. And 95% of the water that's used in processing it and transporting it, it cannot be added back to the water cycle because it is so polluted. So we're here on Earth Day in Denver, Colorado. And I see this building right here as a symbol of that colonization. And they took this land wrongfully. This land was stolen from Cheyenne and Arapaho people. This is our treaty territory, but it was taken from us because of that stuff that's on the very tip of this building, what they call gold. You know, they found gold in this area, and then after that, a chain of events had happened, starting with massacres. The Sand Creek Massacre. I'm a direct descendant of a Sand Creek Massacre survivor. And we made it up to Wind River. And I have an obligation here to not only stand for, you know, these lands in our treaty territories, but all of the lands that Arapaho people, that Indigenous people survived on for thousands and thousands of years. So we're talking about this Line 3 pipeline. Over 200 people have been arrested so far. And it's because a lot of people are feeling like the systems that are put in place have failed us. The people, the land, the water, the sacred monomen, wild rice, in northern Minnesota and all over. You know, Line 3 is not just about the pipeline. It's a microcosm of the larger issue. We are using too much fossil fuels. We need to cut down all of our energy systems. We will not be able to solar panel and wind turbine our way out of this. We're living too large. And how we do that is we need to all work towards a better future, a just and sustainable future that does not prioritize profit over people, that does not prioritize profit over plant life, where we can come and recognize that my life is no greater than that tree right there. That my life is no greater than any of you, you know? And we've lost that touch. We've become disconnected as a people, thinking that we are superior to the plant life and the animals and the life around us. If we don't come to our senses, Creator, and this Mother Earth that takes care of us and is bountiful, she'll just get rid of us. We have an opportunity to rapidly transform our energy system in the next decade. And if we do not do that, it will set off cataclysmic events, what they call runaway climate change. And so when you ask, you know, what can I do here in Denver, Colorado to stop Line 3? There are banks down the road that are funding this mess. There are banks down the road who are funding this madness. And so what we're here to do today is we're going to start here at the Capitol, in this beacon of colonization, and march down to Wells Fargo to hold them accountable, to hold them responsible. Thank you.
Okay. Can we have this before Line 3 on our church?
Yeah.
So folks are getting ready to march. All my Indigenous relatives, all of my BIPOC relatives, if I can have you stand in back of the banner. Just gotta shrink up my tripod really quick. But yeah, we're in Denver, Colorado. Folks are here on the 51st anniversary of Earth Day to highlight the Line 3 pipeline. If you want to learn about the Line 3 pipeline and more in depth, you can go to our website, unicornriot.ninja. We have a whole page dedicated to the Line 3 resistance movement. And to show what Big Wind was talking about, this is the Colorado State Capitol. They mentioned how a lot of the colonization in the West happened because of the gold and the other resources that colonizers wanted to take from the land.
We can have Indigenous people line up behind this banner so we can get the blocks ready. Thank you. Alright, we're gonna get started. Here, trade this and I'll trade this flag. Alright. We didn't work out. Protect the water! Fight for our rights! the water we drink.
For the water we drink.
Cause the whole dang planet is on the brink.
On the brink.
Protect the sacred. Defend the water. Fight for our rights. For our sons and daughters. For the air we breathe. And the water we drink. Cause the whole dang planet is on the brink. Protect the sacred. Defend the water. Fight for our rights. Our sons and daughters. For the air we breathe. And the water we drink. Cause the whole dang planet is on the brink. Protect the sacred.
So the group is on the move. Everyone is marching towards a Wells Fargo branch in Denver, Colorado.
Our sons and daughters. For the air we breathe. And the water we drink. But the whole dang planet is on the brink. Protect the sacred. Defend the water. Fight for our rights. For our sons and daughters. For the air we breathe. And the water we drink. Cause the whole dang planet is on the brink. Protect the sacred. Defend the water. Fight for our rights. For our sons and daughters. For the air we breathe. And the water we drink. Cause the whole dang planet is on the brink. Protect the sacred. Defend the water. Fight for our rights. For our sons and daughters. For the air we breathe. And the water we drink. Cause the whole big planet is on the brink. So this next one is a calm response, and from what I say, you know, where I'm gonna say water is life in the Arapaho language. It's Ni'ine, the dawn, and net. And so when I say that, you say water is life. Ni'ine, the dawn, and net.
Water is life!
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 So this is also a call and response.
So this group of about 30 people first joined at the Colorado State Capitol here in Denver, Colorado. Now they're marching to Wells Fargo, which is one of the big financial backers of Line 3 pipeline.
Protect the Mississippi!
Pipelines are dripping!
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 This chant that says pipelines are drippy, protect the Mississippi,
Pipelines
is specifically about the Mississippi River. which line 3 is being constructed to cross 2 times. And the Mississippi River provides fresh water for millions and millions of people.
We should like walk at like that speed. Probably, yeah.
What do we do when the land is under attack? What do we do when the people are under attack? What do we do when the water is under attack? What do we do? What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
We stand for Monoman, with our brothers and our sisters and our non-binary cousins. We stand. We stand. What do you do when the land is under attack? What do you do when the people are under attack? What do you do when our lives are under attack? What do we do? What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
We stand for water with our brothers and our sisters and our non-binary cousins. We stand. We stand. When I say, Ganduwindi Nibi, it means protect the water in Anishinaabe. And when I say Nabib Mataziwin, that means water is life. So, Ganduwindi Nibi means protect the water. So say that after I say that. And then Nabib Mataziwin, that means water is life. Ganduwindi Nibi!
Protect the water.
Nabib Mataziwin!
Water is life.
Ganduwindi Nibi!
Water is life.
Nabib Mataziwin!
Water is life.
Ganduwindi Nibi!
Water is life.
Ganduwindi Nibi is to protect the water. And if people want to drink it, water is life. Ganduwindi Nibi!
Protect the water.
If people want to drink it,
Water is life.
Ganduwindi Nibi!
Protect the water.
If people want to drink it,
Water is life.
Ganduwindi Nibi!
Protect the water.
If people want to drink it,
Water is life.
Ganduwindi Nibi!
Protect the water.
If people want to drink it,
Water is life.
Ganduwindi Nibi! The people want to see it.
Water is life.
Ganduwindi Nibi!
Protect the water.
The people want to see it.
Water is life.
Ganduwindi Nibi!
Protect the water.
The people want to see it.
Water is life.
Ganduwindi Nibi!
Protect the water.
The people want to see it.
Water is life.
Ganduwindi Nibi!
Protect the water.
People want to see it.
Water is life.
Ganduwindi Nibi!
Protect the water.
The people want to see it.
Water is life.
Black snake killers! Black snake killers!
Black snake killers.
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 building is the Wells Fargo building.
Defend the water! Defend the water! Fight for our rights! Fight for our rights! Our sons and daughters! Our sons and daughters! The air we breathe! The air we breathe! It's the water we drink! The water we drink! But the whole thing planet! The whole thing planet! Is on the brink! Is on the brink! Protect the sacred! Protect the sacred! Defend the water! Defend the water! Fight for our rights! Fight for our rights! Our sons and daughters! Defend the water! Defend the water! Fight for our rights! Our sons and daughters! For the air we breathe! In the water we drink! Because the whole dang planet is on the brink! Protect the sacred! Defend the water! Fight for our rights! For our sons and daughters! In the water we drink. Because the whole big planet is on the brink. So we're here in the front of Wells Fargo. As an act of love. An act of love for this planet, an act of love for water, and an act of love for the people, our families around us. Wells Fargo is directly funding the Line 3 tar sands pipeline that, if built, will go through over 800 acres of pristine wetlands, over 200 bodies of water, including the Mississippi twice, and the sacred Monoman, the wild rice that grows only in northern Minnesota and Wisconsin, the Great Lakes area. You know, I've had the liberty and the privilege of being able to harvest wild rice, and it is one of the hardest things I've done, but one of the most rewarding things I've done. To eat something that you harvest and go through the whole process, it's a beautiful thing. Or to even tap the maple trees. You know, I've had the privilege of being able to tap the maple trees and turn the tap into syrup. And those are both really hard things to do. They take a lot of time, a lot of energy, but you feel that you're learning things while you're doing it that is more than just processing a grain, you know, that's more than just cooking down a sap. You learn life skills in that. And I fight, you know, I'm a member of the GNU Collective, which is actively fighting this fossil fuel extraction project, Line 3, because I want Ojibwe and Dakota and Ochete Shakoan people to be able to harvest rice and tap maples long into the future. You know, when as Indigenous people, we're always looking 7 generations down the road, planting trees that we know we will never feel their shade. And we have to all think like that. We have to reimagine how we want to live. And, you know, people who are living in the metropolitan area, far away, you know, thousands of miles away from this pipeline, you're wondering what you can do. There's a lot of things you can do. If you bank at this institution or similar institutions, we tell you to shut down your account. Shut down your account, because it is no longer, they're just using your money to buy fossil fuels. There are green banks, there are federal credit unions that will do better with your money than Wells Fargo here. If you're interested in how you can personally defund Line 3, head to stopthemoneypipeline.com.
The best.
when the land is under attack? What do we do when the people are under attack? What do we do when our lives are under attack? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We stand for water with our brothers and our sisters and our non-binary cousins. We stand. We stand. What do we do when the land is under attack? What do we do when the people are under attack? What do we do when our lives are under attack? What do we do?
An altar is being set up in front of this Wells Fargo. This large Wells Fargo building is in downtown Denver on Broadway.
While we're doing that really fast, I just want to talk about some stuff what we're setting up. What we're going to have is a COVID table here so you guys can be able to wash your hands, and also if anyone like didn't bring a mask or their mask is getting kind of like moisture, like wet like mine is, kind of gross, but like just being real. We have extra masks for y'all, we have hand sanitizer, and then we also have some snacks and coffee for all of you. So if you can just bear with us for a few moments while we continue to keep setting up. We're also going to play some beautiful music, and then get started on a couple things that we'll go over, and then we have a couple speakers for you all. So bear with us for just a moment. Thank you.
So for anyone just tuning in, this is Alex with Unicorn Riot. I'm here in Denver, Colorado. Folks are gathering here outside of Wells Fargo Bank in downtown Denver to bring awareness to the Line 3 pipeline being built by Enbridge in northern Minnesota right now. And these folks first met at the Colorado Capitol and marched down here. Wells Fargo is one of the main financial backers of the Line 3 pipeline. Line 3 is a tar sands oil pipeline being built. Enbridge is a Canadian corporation. The oil is coming from tar sands deposits in Alberta, Canada, where it's mined, then slightly refined so that it's able to pump through a pipeline, but it's still extremely crude and viscous, and corporations have to pump tar sands at high speeds and high pressure and heat it up so that it can flow through pipelines, which is why there are many pipeline spills as well as leaks. And Enbridge itself is responsible for the biggest inland spill in US history. It's also responsible for the tragic Kalamazoo spill that happened.
What do you want in the picture? You want me to try to get the Wells Fargo thing up there? Oh yeah.
Yeah, more signs in the photo would be great.
More signs.
Divest! Defund! Dismantle! No more predatory capitalism! This does have to do with white supremacy! Remember whose line you stand on! And you're not just white either!
This is a
White exists in colonized
Wells Fargo and Company
colonized
overland stage U.S. mail carriage inside this Wells Fargo bank. There's
Remember whose land
a
you
worker
stand on.
inside on the phone right now. It's hard to see with the reflection, but
Dismantle!
there's a security guard and someone in a suit, and then someone, like two people who seem to be workers. One is a security guard inside this Wells Fargo. They're open from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Today.
Defund! Dismantle! Defund! Dismantle! Divest! Defund! Dismantle! Divest! Defund! Dismantle! Woo!
Okay, some of you guys are probably wondering what we're doing over here. So, in honor of our missing and murdered Indigenous women and our relatives, we want to make an altar for them. So, we built this banner here that is vertical so that it can read. If you guys can hold it up. No more stolen sisters. And at the bottom of it, we want to put down, we want to make an altar and a candle with flowers. And remember, and to continue keep keep fighting and praying for them. So, if anyone here has an idea on how we can get this up,
We need some help.
please help us.
You need to put something heavy on
I do.
So again, this is Alex with Riot here in Denver, Colorado. Some more folks have arrived. There's about 35 or 40 people here today, water protectors and activists here to highlight the Line 3 resistance and the Line 3 pipeline being built by Enbridge Corporation right now in northern Minnesota. And today is Earth Day. It's the 51st anniversary of Earth Day. Do any of you want to say why you're here today? Do you want to say why you're here today?
We're here to fight the pipeline up in Minnesota that's going to be going underneath the Mississippi multiple times. That's taking away indigenous land, taking away their rice lakes. So we're here to fight for that, and we want people to divest and defund certain banks like Wells Fargo. Thank you. Yeah.
Protect the Mississippi! Protect the Mississippi!
Would you like to say why you're here today?
I'm here today to defend our water. Water is life, water is sacred. We all come from water. We all have water inside of us. There's water all around us. And in order to sustain this planet, we need to protect our water. Defund Line 3.
Protect the Mississippi! Protect the Mississippi!
Protect the Mississippi!
Protect the Mississippi!
What do we do when the land is under attack? What do we do when the people are under attack? What do we do when our lives are under attack? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We stand! With our brothers! With our sisters! And our non-binary cousins! We stand!
Some stickers seem to be added to Wells Fargo. It says, warning, dirty bank, biohazard.
What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We stand! We're live! With our brothers! And our sisters! And our non-binary cousins! We stand! We stand! Protect the sacred! Defend the water! Defend the water! Fight for our lives!
I'm live streaming if that's okay. Just talk as loud as you can since there's
Okay, I have double masks on. So
oh, okay. Well, it's okay. Just try to talk as loud as you can.
Okay. I'm here because I'm tired of this. This isn't fair. It's dangerous. People are dying because of this pipeline. Because of all the pipelines. And this has been something that we've been fighting for years now, and I can't believe we still have to do this. So, but I'm gonna stay out here, and I'm gonna keep coming out until this shit stops.
And can you talk about your mask? How it's the missing and murdered Indigenous women? Can you talk about that?
So, Indigenous women go missing and are murdered at a rate that's like, I don't even know how, it's way higher than like the national average or whatever. And I'm an Indigenous woman, and that's really, it's scary. Like, I feel like I live, not that I live in fear, but it's something I think about every day. And the pipelines actually have a lot to do with it because of the man camps that are set up along the pipeline. And that is, I mean, that amount of white men and workers who are there in that close proximity to Indigenous people, that's how Indigenous people are going missing, because they're going in and stealing them. So May 5th is coming up, and that's the National Day of Awareness, Day of Remembrance for missing and murdered Indigenous women. So there are things like this is how we stop that, and how we stop our family members and our friends from going missing. Because every day I think, like, am I next, you know? So yeah, so that's why I'm out here.
Thank you for sharing.
Of course, thank you.
So that woman, it was hard to hear because of all the chanting and the masks for COVID protection, but she was saying her mask said had the MMIR on it, and that is her missing and murdered Indigenous women. And she said, as an Indigenous woman herself, she wonders if like she'll be next, like it's something she worries about. And she was explaining how man camps contribute to that, to missing and murdered Indigenous women and relatives. And she said that actions like this is how things like that get stopped. So that's why she's here today. So folks are still gathered outside of Wells Fargo in downtown Denver. There's about 40 people here. This is actually the financial area of downtown Denver. There's a key bank building. There's UMB Bank, there's BOK Financial, the Wells Fargo obviously. Then there's Bank of Colorado. Yeah, and then right across the street from Wells Fargo is the historic Brown Palace Hotel. So a banner is being lifted, attached to the Wells Fargo sign. It says, "No more stolen sisters." I'll show it in a second.
Build back fossil free. No depot. No depot. No K-Cell. No K-Cell. Stop line 3. Stop line 3. Stop MVP. Stop MVP. Build back fossil free. Build back fossil free. No depot. No depot. No K-Cell. No K-Cell. Stop line 3. Stop line 3. Stop MVP. Stop MVP. Build back fossil free. Build back fossil free. No depot. No depot. No K-Cell. No K-Cell. Stop line 3. Stop line 3. Stop MVP. Stop MVP. Build back fossil free. Build back fossil free. No depot. No depot. No K-Cell.
So now at the base of this No More Stolen Sisters banner, folks are building an altar to all of the missing and murdered Indigenous relatives. May 5th is the day of remembrance for missing and murdered Indigenous relatives.
Water is life.
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 Hey, what's up everybody? We got some good old sidewalk chalk here, so everyone hear me? Alright? Yep. We got sidewalk chalk right here, and we need some artists to come up and just put our message out. Feel free to put it in the middle.
Not yet. She's gonna announce it. Like they're gonna say about it. Would it be okay if I don't keep setting up? Or should I wait? I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I don't think. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So this is the Wells Fargo in downtown Denver.
This vertical banner is hanging from the Wells Fargo sign that says "No More Stolen Sisters," missing and murdered Indigenous relatives, and missing and murdered Indigenous women. There's the Rivers at Risk banner.
Raise your hands, and if you know what MMIW or MMIR, missing and murdered Indigenous women. It's an ongoing process till this day. As a woman here, I am a prodigy. No, or not just any woman. I'm an Indigenous woman. I'm a proud Indigenous Chichangu, Lakota, Chicana woman, born and raised here in Denver, Colorado, right here. My name is Micaela Ayancha Dominguez, and I'm very proud and honored to stand here. Even though we have to continue to keep fighting and defending our water and protecting our land, I'm still very honored and proud to be able to do this for those that cannot. Like my grandmother, Sharon Dominguez, who is homesick right now. But I know that she's here with us in spirit. I'm very, very grateful and blessed to have my mother, Cristina Dominguez, here. I have to say, a year ago to this day, there was a chance that we were not going to have my mother anymore. That was probably one of the hardest things to accept, and I could not accept it. And did anything, and really what I only know, and that is to pray and to do what we do traditionally. So to have my mother here standing next to my side, being able to do this today, again, is an honor, and I'm very blessed. I wouldn't be here or the woman that I am here if it wasn't for my mother, if it wasn't for my grandmother. I come from a long and strong line of matriarchs. I also come from a long, strong line of chiefs, respectful men. Again, I'm Chichangu Lakota. My people come from the Rosebud Oyate, the Rosebud people on the Rosebud Reservation. My people still live there. My father still lives there. Calvin Ironshell Jr. My father, my grandfather, Chief Calvin Ironshell Sr. I stand up here in his honor and his respect. And so I'm up here right now as we get ready to do this. Again, this is in honor of our missing and murdered Indigenous women, our missing and murdered Indigenous relatives, our Two-Spirit. Something that goes on at these pipelines is what we call man camps. And man camps are temporary housing facilities built to accommodate the workers, mostly men, who come to an area to work on major infrastructure projects like pipelines. There's a quote. Camp life exacerbates isolation, mental illness, and substance abuse problems as the men face stressful, difficult, and potentially dangerous working conditions, often combined with large paychecks. This result is often devastating for women, children, and Two-Spirit people in the nearby communities, and then the international sex trafficking industry that feeds them. The U.S. Department of Justice found that American women face murder rates that are far more and 10 times more than the national average. 10 times. 84% of Indigenous women have experienced physical, sexual, or physiological violence in their lifetimes, and that's according to the National Institute of Justice, and I can stand up here and say I am a part of that 84%. 1 in 3 women, Indigenous women, experience sexual violence in their lifetime, according to the Justice Department. 13% of sexual assaults reported by Native American women result in arrest, according to the Justice Department, compared with 35% for Black women and 32% for white women. In 2016, 5,712 Indigenous women and girls reported missing. Again, 5,712 missing persons database. So again, only 116 out of those 5,712 Indigenous women.
That's terrible.
In the state of Minnesota, the Minnesota Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women Task Force found that this epidemic is not caused by cultural or individual factors. 90% of the crimes against Native women is perpetrated by non-Native men. Sex trafficking in Minnesota and around the U.S. is driven by extractive industries and the man camps that surround them, just like the man camps that are building Line 3. So I just want that information to sink in just a little bit. Before I pass this on to my sister Renee, we're gonna get started on this altar. And I'm asking all women and those that identify as women to stand with us or to kneel with us and make this altar. We have flowers and we have candles to help make this, and I'd like to make a large heart for them. And so before we get started on that, I'd like to call up my sister, my hermana, Renee Malar Chacon. I'm also a co-founder of Women from the Mountains, some work that I probably missed. As some of you guys know, I have my hand in a lot of different pots. And so we started this, our cultural education business, Women from the Mountain, together. Very honored to stand with her every day during the work that we do. So I'm very honored and happy to pass this on to you, sister. Thank you. And thank you all for listening to me.
And all the ones that came before and all the little ones to come. I pray for all those going through difficult times. May they find the strength, the support, the compassion, the justice, the food, the water, the shelter, and the love that they need to make it through. I pray for all of us. I have a lot of different roles, but the one that I value most of all is mother. I have 2 sons. I love them dearly. When they were born, I saw the full weight of what it really meant to take care of someone. Love is work. And I don't know about you, but COVID has left even my family never the same. We need to be mindful in how we use that privilege every day. It's a privilege to even be able to have shelter nowadays in Denver. BIPOC communities are constantly being choked out and flushed out. I live in Commerce City, Colorado. We do fight Suncor every fucking day. They have sullied our entire environment with particulate pollution. Benzene, hydrogen cyanide, hydrogen sulfide are fiercely dangerous chemicals to do for public endangerment. And they've left us and sacrificed those for 30 fucking years. I see so many youth around me that I educate with nothing but asthma inhalers during COVID. My son, since we have moved here, suffers from some of the worst nosebleeds I've ever seen him have. He's only 8. I have suffered from anemia ITP my entire life. These are real consequences. And I warn you today because it's your children tomorrow. We live on the land of the Ute, Arapaho, Cheyenne, Lakota, Comanche, Hickory Apache, Navajo, and 48 tribes and over 40 treaties that have never been honored. Starting with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, which doesn't even recognize the Mexica. I'm Dene Chicana Mexica. I'm a mixture from here and my identity is rarely ever represented. They call us disproportionate communities. Well then redetermine your proportions. It is time for land back. It is time for redistribution of narratives. It is time for redistribution in Crestone and BlackRock and Wells Fargo and Chase and every bank who is okay with capitalizing predatory on disproportionate communities since the fucking founding of this country. I ask that you remember missing and murdered Indigenous women is not an epidemic. An epidemic implies it can be healed from some sort of medication. It has been since the founding of Columbus, who has actually never set foot on this continent, that missing and murdered Indigenous people have been a thing. This is nothing new, and yet we're barely just building a database. Do you see how disgusting it is to fight every day for your identity to just barely be represented, and hopefully your children will survive? That is what Indigenous communities have been fighting with their erasure for generations. You yourselves are not just white. You come from somewhere. You too were colonized. We all are colonized and colonizer. Recognize that now. I'm not saying we're gonna return back to the past. We won't be able to. I'm not saying we're gonna return back to normal. Fuck that. I'm asking you to return to better. I'm asking you to return to better for the sake of these little ones. If you knew the struggle it took to birth them, it is chaos and nasty. And yet every moment is honestly done with an enormous amount of strength and love. That got every one of us here, whether you want to admit it or not. You do not have to be a woman to be a life giver to understand this. But you do have to be strong enough to stand up for future generations, whether you benefited from it or not. That is what we've forgotten. We see it from an economic benefit, and we've never seen it from an equity benefit. I ask you that now. We don't do this for nothing. This is literally what we do every day, fighting. I'm gonna do it until I die, because that's what it means to me to be a good ancestor. And I ask you, what does it mean to you to be a good ancestor? I thank you for all those that join within earshot and care enough to listen. But most of all, I ask you to act. It has to be with humility, it has to be with courage, and it has to be with sacrifice. If you're going to suffer anyway, if they're going to vent on us anyway, stand up, fight back. So thank you for the humility and grace it takes to really get your ass out here. And most of all, for those that are listening, do what it takes to be a good ancestor to yourself and future generations now. Glaso kamati ometo.
I'm asking any women, those that identify as women, to come and help make this altar. There is lots of flowers, and we need to make a very large, beautiful heart for our stolen sisters. So if you'd like to come join us, in the meantime, if anyone would like to come up and say anything, if anyone has a chant, a poem, a song, anything. Allies, accomplices, beautiful to see all your awesome, beautiful faces. If you'd like to come up and say anything, share us with your Again, your word, anything, please. This is time. I'm gonna leave this right here.
So we're gonna sing the Woman Warrior song while they make this. Anyone knows that song?
So folks are here outside Wells Fargo because Wells Fargo is a big backer of Line 3 pipeline being built by Enbridge Corporation. And folks are building an altar underneath a vertical banner that says "No More Stolen Sisters," and it's for missing and murdered Indigenous relatives and women.
Alright, so what we're asking for, we're asking for you to rip off the heads of these flowers. For those that want to help. We gotta rip the flowers in the fire as we can. They're not hard. Oh, he does see. We're gonna save every one of them.
that is the altar being built to remember and to honor missing and murdered Indigenous relatives. This is all happening in downtown Denver, Colorado, where folks are celebrating Earth Day by bringing awareness to the Line 3 tar sands oil pipeline being built right now in northern Minnesota in Anishinaabe territory.
Giving you a hassle, let us know.
Thank you. Appreciate your respecting there. Yep. Appreciate your respecting their First Amendment rights.
Yeah, it's not my issue. You guys do you. You guys do what you gotta do.
All right. Take care.
See ya.
Can you just share what the police said?
He said he got a few calls that there was some concern, but he didn't have any concern.
Okay.
And we should just continue doing what we're doing.
Okay, thanks.
Basically was the gist of it.
Okay. A squad car, District 6, just pulled up just to inform people here that they got some calls, most likely from inside Wells Fargo. But then the police said that they didn't see a problem, so people out here could keep doing what they're doing. That police officer, Jay Harvey, is at most of the Denver houseless sweeps that happen in Denver, Colorado. And he is the officer who actually touched me inappropriately during one of the sweeps I was covering. He also touched a minor that same day during one of the sweeps.
tin o me te o. O me te o tin. O me te o tin o me te o. Hey ya na hene. Hey ya na hene. Hey ya na o. Hey ya na hene. Hey ya na hene. Hey ya na o. Atato na tiu, hey ya na o. Atato na tiu, hey ya na o. Hey ya na hene, hey ya na hene, hey ya na o. Hey ya na hene, hey ya na hene, hey ya na o. Tonan tinglali, hey ya na o. Tonan tinglali, hey ya na o. Hey ya na hene, hey ya na hene, hey ya na o. O me te o tin, o me te o tin, o me te o.
So I just want us to remember why we're doing this, so that this is a prayer. This is a prayer. For us to still remember. For us not to forget. For us to pray that we will find those that are still missing. We do this for you. And we will not forget all of you.
Yana
Thank you for all of those that helped participate.
So just to catch everyone up, we have created this altar for murder missing Indigenous women in front of Wells Fargo, who is funding the Line 3 tar sands pipeline, amongst other pipelines that are threatening the water here and in northern Minnesota, all across the world. So I want to thank you all for coming out here today. What do we do when the land is under attack? Stand up, fight back! What do we do when the people are under attack? Stand up, fight back! What do we do when the water is under attack? Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! We stand! We stand! For water! For water! For murder missing Indigenous women! We stand! We stand! What do we do when the land is under attack? What do we do when our women are under attack? What do we do when our true spirits are under attack? What do we do? What do we do? We stand! We stand! For MMIW! With our brothers! And our sisters! And our non-binary cousins! So as we stand here, I hold this piece of paper, and this is an eviction notice to Wells Fargo. As a direct descendant of a signatory of this treaty, the Fort Laramie Treaty, it is my obligation, and they have violated the terms. In the 1851 treaty, there talks about how there will be peace. This is violation. If you're funding genocide, you're in violation of this. And not only is it in violation of the 1851 treaty, but it is also in violation of UNDRIP, which is the United Nations Declaration of Rights for Indigenous Peoples. So we're not going to allow this to happen. Wells Fargo got to go. They've been bad tenants. We're going to deliver this, see how it goes. I got a couple people with me, and if you guys can queue up the chants right here, it'd be great. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Let's go. Hey, hold up one second. I'm gonna give it an interview. Cool. I can do the interview now.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, if you want to just give an update on the construction up in northern Minnesota, like how far they've built so far. Yeah, first if you want to just do that, and obviously introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Big Wind. I am from the Wind River Reservation. I'm Northern Arapaho, and we are here in front of Wells Fargo in Denver near the Capitol, and just wanted to give you an update on Line 3, and it's currently construction. They say that they are over halfway done, and there was a moratorium for wetlands, and so that has shortened their workforce currently at this moment. But one thing that I feel like is propaganda is that they're telling people that all construction has stopped in this time, and that is not the case. They're still building, and they're still showing up to work. They have over 1,000 workers who are currently full-time right now, and are building the pump stations. There's 8 pump stations all across Minnesota that keep the flux and the pressure through these. They are essential to the pipeline, and they're essential to keeping the pressure all throughout the line as it goes through Minnesota. And so they are currently building as we speak. And I want to remind people that because a lot of people thought that work had stopped, and that's not the case. And so there are currently people in northern Minnesota, and we're here in solidarity with GNU Collective. We're here in solidarity with all the indigenous people and the environmentalists and activists that are fighting up in northern Minnesota. And we've gathered here at Wells Fargo because they are directly funding the Line 3 fossil fuel project amongst other projects. And what I have right here is an eviction notice to Wells Fargo. It says, "Dear Wells Fargo, you have to leave the premises." Has the address. It says that they're illegally occupying land and that they violated the terms of the agreement. Now, we had an agreement. I'm a direct descendant of the signatory of the Fort Laramie Treaty, and this agreement has been violated, which means that we have an obligation to evict them from our homelands, you know. So I'm going to take a couple people with me and we're going to deliver this.
So we're just gonna I am walking with a small group right now. So we're still in Denver, Colorado. Folks are here on Earth Day to bring awareness about the Line 3 tar sands oil pipeline being built right now in northern Minnesota. As Big Wind said, some of the pipeline construction is not happening right now because there's winter melt happening and the wetlands are too wet, but the pump stations are still being built. So there's still construction happening right now in northern Minnesota for Line 3. And Wells Fargo is a big financial backer of Line 3 as well as other pipelines, so that's why folks are outside of Wells Fargo today. For folks tuning in, this is Alex with Unicorn Riot. I am in Denver, Colorado. Folks are gonna be giving an eviction notice to Wells Fargo. Big Wind just explained what the eviction notice said. They themselves are indigenous to this land, and they're saying that Wells Fargo is going against treaty agreements because they are helping with genocide. When pipeline infrastructure is put into the ground, especially if there are leaks, but even as it runs, just even if a pipeline runs as it should, it goes through a lot of pristine sacred land. The Line 3 pipeline itself is going to cross the Mississippi River twice. It's going to go over 200 bodies of water. So even if a pipeline doesn't leak, it still pollutes and contributes to the environment degrading. And for Anishinaabe people, the rice is really important, and rice grows on water. So if there's a leak at all, then there's a chance that their rice and part of their life way will be destroyed. So that's why Big Wind was saying it.
Thank you.
Is saying it leads to genocide. That's why they were saying that.
Is the Colorado eviction notice? Right here. Who can I give this to? Can I speak to your manager? No. Yes. I would like to speak to your manager.
So there's a small group inside Wells Fargo in downtown Denver right now, asking to speak to a manager to deliver an eviction notice.
Here we go. Okay, cool. Yes. Good chant. Whatever.
Stop line 3! 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 No more oil! Keep it in the soil!
Okay, cool. This is the Colorado eviction notice. I'm from the Northern Arapaho tribe, and the way I see it is that line 3 is a direct threat and that you guys are funding genocide. I'm from this land. I think you've been wrong tenants, and I'm serving you with this eviction notice. Here you go.
I'm fine, thank you.
Well, I can tape it up here if you'd like me to.
That's fine. You can.
The manager isn't accepting the eviction notice, so.
All right, where's the Yeah. What do we do when the land is under attack?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do when the people are under attack?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do when our lives are under attack?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Pipelines are dripping! Protect the Mississippi! Pipelines are dripping!
Protect the Mississippi!
Pipelines are dripping!
Protect the Mississippi!
Pipelines are dripping!
Protect the Mississippi!
Pipelines are dripping!
So right now there's a small group of water protectors and activists inside the Wells Fargo Bank in downtown Denver. Big Wind, who's Arapaho and indigenous to this land, was trying to give an eviction notice to the manager here, yet he did not accept the eviction notice. So it's now being taped onto the inside of the building. It looks like tellers are locking their areas.
With our brothers and our sisters and our non-binary cousins. What do we do when the land is under attack?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do when the people are under attack?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do when our lives are under attack?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
We stand
We stand
for water
for water
with our brothers and our sisters and our non-binary cousins. We stand. Protect the sacred. Defend the water. Fight for our rights. Our sons and daughters. For the air we breathe. And the water we drink. Because the whole dang planet is on the brink. Protect the sacred. Defend the water. Fight for our rights. For our sons and daughters. For the air we breathe. And the water we drink. Because the whole dang planet is on the brink. Protect the sacred. Defend the water. Fight for our rights. For our sons and daughters. For the air we breathe. And the water we drink. Because the whole dang planet is on the brink. Alright, all the tellers, you guys can go home. Your bosses have been bad tenants. And we're no longer allowing this. There's some accountability. We cannot allow genocide in our homelands. And we will not allow for that to happen. No longer. And if you continue to fund genocide, you can continue to expect us to show up in these institutions.
You guys are trespassing at this point. The cops will be in soon. Just a heads up. If you'd like to leave now, that'd be great.
You're trespassing as well.
Okay.
Yes. Everyone who works for Wells Fargo, you can go home now. You're being evicted. The people that you work for are bad tenants. And as an Indigenous person of this land, you're no longer welcome. You're poisoning our water. You're poisoning the land. You're not welcome here. You have blood on your hands. It is that money behind those counters has blood on its hands. The investments that you guys are using kill people. Your investments kill. Like this sign says, your investments kill. Your investments kill.
Oh, they're looking to open the doors from the inside.
What do we do when the land is under attack?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do when the people are under attack?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do when our lives are under attack?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Pipelines are dripping!
One of the workers here said that they called the police and they said that everyone here is trespassing, and then Big Wind responded by saying that they were trespassing on their land.
Well, I'll win. Yes. Thank you.
Those are all the folks outside still. So again, this is downtown Denver, Colorado, in the Wells Fargo Bank on Broadway. There are water protectors and activists highlighting the Line 3 tar sands oil pipeline that is being partially funded by Wells Fargo, which is why folks are here.
Wow. All right.
Stop line 3.
Stop line 3.
Stop line 3. Stop line 3.
Stop line 3.
We will.
Stop line 3.
We must.
Stop line 3!
We will.
Stop line 3!
We must.
Stop line 3! Stop line 3!
Stop line 3. We will.
Stop line 3!
We must.
Stop line 3!
We will. We must. We will. We must. We will.
So an eviction notice was just handed to a manager, but the manager inside Wells Fargo didn't take it. So it was taped to one of the I don't know what they're called, to something inside the Wells Fargo bank. The eviction notice was taped up.
We will. We must. 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 We will.
They took the poster and the eviction notice off of the sign that it was taped to inside the bank.
We will. We must. 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 We will. We must.
Folks set up a place to get hand sanitizer, and I think they have they have hot chocolate and snacks here for folks in water. These pins say defund line 3.
We must. Stop line 3. We will. Stop line 3. We must. Stop line 3. We will. Stop line 3. We must. Stop line 3. We will. Stop line 3. We must. Stop line 3. We will. Stop line 3. We must. Stop line 3. We will. Stop line 3. We must. Stop line 3. We will. Stop line 3. We must.
Another sticker was put up on the door. It says paid for by Big Oil. And these are the same dirty bank biohazard warning stickers that were up earlier.
Stop line 3.
Stop line 3 sticker.
Stop line 3. We will. Stop line 3. We must. Stop line 3. We will. Stop line 3. We must. Stop line 3. We will. Stop line 3. We must. Stop line 3. We will. Stop line 3. We must. Stop line 3. We will. Stop line 3. We must. Stop line 3. We will. Stop line 3. We must. Stop line 3. We will. Stop line 3. We must. Stop line 3. We will. Stop line 3. We must. Stop line 3. We will. Stop line 3.
So this is inside the bank at Wells Fargo.
Thank you all for coming out here today. We went inside and tried to deliver this letter, but the manager refused. So we can get up in their lobby. We can sign this as your divestments kill. Because we know why we're here. We're here because Line 3 continues to put profits over people and plant life. We're here because water is essential to all living beings. We cannot live without water. If you try to not drink water for 4 days, you will die. It is essential to all life. So when we say stop Line 3, we're envisioning that world that we want to live in. And a lot of us, majority of us here, have benefited from fossil fuels and the extraction economy. I am not devoid from the problem. I come from an oil and gas tribe. We receive dividends every single month from the fossil fuel industry. But I never made that decision. I never went to a council meeting where I got to express my concerns. And these corporations, they know what they're doing. They're signing contracts for 50, 60 years at a time. When I talk to my business council and the people, our tribal leaders about the climate crisis, the impending doom that's coming, and tell them that we have 10 years to rapidly transform our energy system as a whole in all of the earth. They tell me that we're locked into a contract that still has 25 years left. We don't have 25 years. And so all of us are here, mostly young people, and you know what it is to even have to fight your own government for life, to fight your own government for water, for clean water. 94% of tap water is poisoned with microplastics. Line 3, it doesn't make gas. It isn't fueling your homes. Line 3 is being shipped all across these so they can make cheap plastics. Now we know what these plastics do to our body. They mess with our reproductive organs. They mess with how our body is taking care of itself and how it is regulating the hormones. And the endocrine system. We know that these plastics are harmful, but also in the next 10 years, plastic production is seek to double. We cannot allow that to happen, which is why we need to stop Line 3, so that we can stop this madness and this plastic addiction, this oil addiction. I'm not, and we're not a hypocrite for wanting a better life. Actually, we have an obligation to the next 7 generations to make a better life for them. So when we say stop Line 3, we're asking this dominant society to change. We need change, and as our friends in Endagalenda who fight the huge coal plants, over on the eastern side of the world, they say that when it comes to climate, slow winning is losing. We're not acting fast enough. And at the end of the day, I want to appreciate all of you for coming out here today. You didn't have to, but you chose to spend this Earth Day with us because we care for the land. We care for the thing that supports us. We care for that water. Thank you. Just a reminder that there's food and coffee. Grab some snacks, get some energy.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. This is Alex with Unicorn Riot in Denver, Colorado, here outside Wells Fargo Bank.
Let others know what is going on so that
Folks, about 40 people today. We're celebrating Earth Day. This is the 51st Earth Day by highlighting the fight against Line 3. Line 3 is a tar sands oil pipeline currently being built in northern Minnesota in Anishinaabe territory. It is set to pump over 900,000 barrels of tar sands crude a day, which is more than the Keystone XL pipeline would have pumped daily. If you want to learn more about Line 3, we have an entire page on our website dedicated to Line 3 resistance at unicornriot.ninja. And so today, folks also went inside the Wells Fargo Bank here in downtown Denver to hand over an eviction notice. The manager inside did not accept it. He, I think, said, "I'm good, no thank you," something like that. And so people started chanting inside. Big Wind was saying how they're not welcome here. Big Wind is indigenous to this land. And the workers inside were saying that, no, you're the one trespassing, and there was some back and forth. They called the police for the second time today. And the eviction notice with a poster were taped up inside Wells Fargo. And yeah, so today it was about a 2-hour event. First started at the Colorado Capitol in Denver, Colorado. Then marched down to this Wells Fargo. Banners were hung. Lots of chalk was written all over. There was an altar created to remember and to honor missing and murdered Indigenous relatives. And yes, people have been here today on Earth Day to shed light on Line 3, which is currently being built in northern Minnesota. Again, you can learn more about that on our website at unicornriot.ninja. If you appreciate our coverage today, our coverage that we did for the Derek Chauvin trial, all of our coverage that we've done, we really appreciate your support and love, and we couldn't do it without you. Seriously, we couldn't do this without you, so thank you so much. If you are able to donate any money, we appreciate it. You can go to unicornriot.ninja for that, and make sure to check out all our other content. We appreciate you all very much. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Again, this is Alex with Unicorn Riot here in Denver, Colorado.
Like, it's just like,